Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The tension in Genoa City and Los Angeles simmers like an unchecked wildfire as Nikki Newman carries a secret so explosive it threatens to upend every alliance, expose every buried truth, and redraw every line of loyalty in the Newman, Abbott, and Winters families. It begins quietly, with Nikki slipping into the Abbott mansion under the guise of a business discussion, but Jack Abbott senses from her trembling hands and uneven breaths that she is struggling to contain something much heavier. Before she can even sip the coffee he offers, Nikki blurts out that she is terrified of Matt Clark, terrified of what Victor is about to walk into, and terrified that the secret she has been holding for weeks might destroy not only her marriage but also the fragile alliances between the Newmans and the Abbotts. Jack, caught between concern and shock, presses gently, reminding her that he has never once betrayed her trust, no matter how complicated their history. Nikki finally breaks, confessing that Matt, aka Mitch Bacall, had not only manipulated Claire and tormented Nick and Sharon but had discovered something about the Newman family that he planned to use as his final weapon. Jack feels his stomach drop as Nikki whispers that Victor has no idea the trap is far bigger than anyone imagined, and if the truth comes out, it will paint a target on Victor, Nick, Noah, and perhaps even Kyle, who has been sniffing around the wrong corners of Victor's past. And while Jack reassures Nikki that he will protect her secret, he knows immediately that keeping it hidden may be the single most dangerous gamble Nikki has ever made. Meanwhile, across Los Angeles, Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall remain trapped in the suffocating claustrophobic darkness of Matt's storage room hideout. Their hands ache from pounding on the metal door, their throats raw from screaming for help that never comes. Noah tries to keep hope alive, insisting that his father, Nick, will find them, and Sienna, despite her terror, refuses to let either of them crumble. When she spots a loose piece of metal embedded in the wall, she struggles to pry it free, calling Noah to help her. Together they wedge it against a corroded hinge, their desperation giving them strength, but the hinge barely budges. Noah feels the cruelty of Matt's plan tightening around them like a noose. Matt wants them panicked. Matt wants them hopeless. Matt wants them pliable. It is only a matter of time before he returns to force Noah into the impossible choice he hinted at earlier, betray his family or watch Sienna suffer the consequences. Back in Genoa City, Nick and Sharon, frantic after receiving a chilling clue Matt left behind, stumble onto another hint pointing to the outskirts of Los Angeles. With dread and adrenaline spiking through them, they call Victor. The moment Victor hears Noah might be close, he drops everything. Board meetings, confrontations, all of it, summoning his jet and flying out immediately. As Victor arrives in Los Angeles, the atmosphere shifts from fear to impending collision. His footsteps echo with authority as he corners Matt Clark in an abandoned warehouse. Matt smirks, expecting Victor to be furious, unhinged even, but Victor's eerily calm demeanor unsettles him. Victor Newman calmly vows that if Matt so much as touches Noah or Sienna again, he will unleash consequences that Matt has never imagined. Sharon and Nick, trapped on the opposite side of the warehouse behind a sealed gate, can only watch as Matt maneuvers them into an impossible position, threatening to detonate a trap that would close the door, literally, on their chances of reaching Noah. Matt's voice seethes with victory until, in a shocking twist, Victor turns the tables. With one swift motion, he triggers a backup plan of his own, locking down the building and trapping Matt inside. For a fleeting moment, Victor believes he has regained control, until Matt screams into the shadows that Noah now has to make the choice. And at that exact moment, Noah is forced into action as Matt's voice comes through a hidden speaker, sending Noah spiraling into panic. Matt has placed something in that room with them, something Noah swore he would never be tied to. By the week's end, Noah is forced to decide whether he will do what Matt is demanding or allow Sienna to be the collateral damage Matt always planned her to be. But while Victor battles Matt in Los Angeles, chaos erupts in Genoa City. Lily Winters and Phyllis Summers face off in a confrontation that sizzles with years of unresolved tension. Lily tries to play it calm, collected, rational, until Phyllis makes one small smirking remark about Kane Ashby moving on. Lily's eyes flash with hurt and rage, proving she still cares far more deeply than she pretends. Phyllis, feeding off the reaction, pushes harder, insisting she will not apologize for her connection to Kane or the fact that he confides in her in ways he no longer shares with Lily. Sparks fly, voices rise, and Lily finally snaps, accusing Phyllis of sinking her claws into Kane simply to distract herself from her failures as a mother and partner. Phyllis, never one to be outdone, fires back that Lily is jealous, insecure, and incapable of accepting that Kane is no longer hers to control. By the end of the confrontation, any illusion of civility between them has been burned away. Their battle lines are officially drawn, and Kane, tormented by enemies on both sides of his life, suddenly finds himself caught in the middle of two women determined to make him choose. Meanwhile, Audra Charles reaches yet another tipping point of desperation as she pleads her case to Nate Hastings. Her voice is breathy, emotional, almost trembling as she tries to convince Nate that he misunderstood her actions, that the mistakes she made didn't define who she was becoming. Nate, growing increasingly wary of her intense emotional spirals, tries to maintain distance, but Audra refuses to let him go. She knows she is losing him to Claire's mother's orbit, and she cannot allow that. When Holden Novak opens up to Claire about his past with Audra, Claire is stunned. She had no idea how entangled Audra and Holden truly were, nor how dangerous their secrets could become if exposed. Audra, realizing Holden has spoken, goes into panic mode. Holden tries to explain himself, claiming it was the only way to protect their shared secret, but Audra sees red. Her fear of losing control over Nate, of being replaced by someone with deeper ties to the Newmans, pushes her toward a villainous transformation she has spent months denying. In the shadows of all this, Diane Jenkins Abbott and Kyle Abbott dig for dirt on Victor Newman, searching through old company records, legal filings, and off-the-books acquisitions. Diane insists this is about protecting Jabot from Victor's next aggressive move, but Kyle senses something personal burning beneath her words. Perhaps resentment. Perhaps fear. Perhaps curiosity about the same secret Nikki is hiding. Regardless, their search is about to uncover something that could send shockwaves through both the Abbott and Newman households, something tied to a decision Victor made decades ago. And Claire Grace Newman, already on edge over Matt's manipulation of her family, finally loses her temper with Audra Charles. When Audra pushes one button too many, implying Claire's position in the Newman family is fragile and conditional, Claire snaps. Her voice cracks like thunder as she threatens Audra to stay far away from her family and from Nate. But Audra, restless and spiraling, only smirks, warning Claire that she isn't playing games anymore. Their confrontation is dangerous, raw, and filled with the kind of emotional volatility that could lead to something far worse than harsh words. As tensions escalate, Audra's darkest instincts begin to awaken, hinting that she may soon take drastic, villainous action to retain control over her life, and over Nate. Back in Genoa City, the Abbotts scramble to protect Jabot as Victor sets another trap, this time for Kane. Victor plays the master strategist, anticipating Kane's moves before Kane can even make them. Kane, overwhelmed by pressure from Victor, confusion from Lily, temptation from Phyllis, and ghosts from his past, becomes vulnerable to making reckless decisions that could destroy everything he rebuilt. And in the middle of all this, Nikki carries the crushing weight of the secret she confessed to Jack. A secret Victor must never learn, or else the war between Victor, Matt, Kane, Phyllis, Lily, and half of Genoa City will ignite into a full-blown inferno. And as the week closes, Victor receives the distress call from Los Angeles. Noah is running out of time. Jack makes a dramatic move to shield Jabot from Victor's retaliation. Diane and Kyle stumble across information they should never have found. Claire and Audra reach the brink of all-out war. And Nikki Newman stands at the crossroads of loyalty, lies, and the devastating truth that could shatter the Newmans, the Abbotts, and perhaps even Victor himself. Chaos, secrets, and shifting loyalties tear through Genoa City like an unstoppable storm as the Newmans, Abbotts, and Winters families collide in the most dramatic week the town has seen in years. It begins with Victor Newman, the indomitable patriarch whose empire has weathered betrayals, corporate coups, and personal tragedies, pacing inside his dimly lit office at Newman Enterprises, sensing a threat stalking his family from the shadows. Viktor's instincts are rarely wrong, and this time his gut gnaws with the certainty that Matt Clark, going by Mitch Bacall, has resurfaced not just to torment Nick and Sharon but to dismantle everything Viktor has built. While Viktor orders new security protocols and mobilizes every Newman resource, Nikki Newman stands frozen in the doorway, clutching her chest as she watches her husband's fury intensify. Nikki has survived reinvention, heartbreak, addiction, and trauma, but the secret she's hiding now threatens to consume her alive. Matt knows something about her past, something she never confessed to Viktor, something so devastating it could destroy their marriage and the fragile peace between their families. She knows she must tell Viktor, but fear paralyzes her, fear of losing him, fear of igniting a war, fear of exposing something she buried decades ago. Before Viktor can question her trembling voice, Nikki escapes, rushing straight to Jack Abbott, the one man who has always given her refuge when her world collapsed. At the Abbott mansion, Jack recognizes the haunted look in Nikki's eyes immediately. She confesses that Matt Clark has unearthed a buried truth involving her, Viktor, and the early years of Matt's obsession with the Newmans, something that could unravel Viktor emotionally and professionally if exposed. Jack swallows hard, promising her absolute discretion while also realizing the enormity of what she has just placed on his shoulders. As Nikki sobs, Jack wraps an arm around her, reminding her that she is not alone, that he will help protect her from Matt, from her secret, and even from Viktor if necessary. But Diane, lurking in the hallway, catches Nikki's frantic whispers and grows suspicious. She confronts Jack later, demanding to know why Nikki was at the mansion again and what secret Jack is protecting. Jack refuses to elaborate, leaving Diane even more paranoid, and determined to uncover exactly what Nikki Newman is hiding. Meanwhile, across Los Angeles, Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall cling to each other in a cold, decrepit storage room where Matt Clark has locked them. Noah has bruised knuckles from pounding on the steel door, and Sienna's voice breaks every time she cries out for help. They know time is running out. Matt is unstable, too unstable, and every minute he leaves them alone is a minute he is tightening his invisible noose around Noah's future. When Sienna discovers a loose metal rod in the corner, she whispers fiercely that this is their chance. They work together, trying to pry the rusted hinge loose, but the metal squeals loudly, causing Sienna to freeze. Terrified Matt might already be watching them through hidden cameras. Noah forces calm into his voice, promising they will escape, that Nick and Sharon will find them, that Viktor will tear the world apart if necessary. But deep down, Noah fears that Matt's plan is far more sinister than simple revenge. Matt has hinted, twice now, that Noah will have to make the choice. Noah doesn't know what that means yet, but every instinct inside him screams that Matt will make him choose between his life and Sienna's, or between Sienna and his family. Back in Genoa City, Sharon Newman and Nick Newman follow a breadcrumb trail of Matt's taunting clues, each one colder and more chilling than the last. The moment they find the newest piece, an abandoned phone with Noah's voice recorded on it, whispering for help, Sharon collapses into Nick's arms. Nick dials Viktor immediately, and the patriarch listens in silence before abruptly hanging up, ordering his pilot to prepare the jet. The second Viktor's plane touches down in LA, he heads straight toward Matt's last known location. Sharon and Nick meet him near the outskirts of a half-abandoned industrial district. Viktor wastes no time storming into an old warehouse, calling Matt's name with a voice filled with ominous rage. Matt emerges from the shadows wearing a smug grin, thrilled to see Viktor out of his controlled corporate world and thrown into emotional chaos. What Matt doesn't expect, however, is that Viktor has come prepared, not with negotiation, but with a strategy to outmaneuver him. While Matt taunts Viktor, Sharon and Nick search frantically for Noah, but every hallway leads to another locked door, another dead end. Suddenly, Matt flips a switch on a remote, and overhead lights flicker violently before shutting off completely. In the darkness, Matt warns that Noah is now facing the choice he was promised, one that could redefine the fate of both the Newmans and Bacalls. Viktor lunges toward Matt, but Matt slips away, knowing exactly how to manipulate Viktor's temper. For a terrifying moment, Sharon and Nick are trapped behind a barricaded gate, listening helplessly as Matt laughs and tells Viktor that Noah's time is running out. but Viktor, ever the strategist, activates a hidden emergency override, his own trap, locking down every exit in the warehouse and cornering Matt inside. Matt's confident smirk finally falters as he realizes Viktor has anticipated his escape routes. But the victory is short-lived when Matt reveals his final twist. Locking Viktor in the warehouse only speeds up the trap he set for Noah. Back in town, the Winters household explodes with tension as Lily Winters and Phyllis Summers finally confront each other over Kane Ashby. Lily tries to pretend it's about respect and boundaries, but the truth slips through her trembling voice. She still loves Kane, still aches for him, still resents seeing Phyllis anywhere near him. Phyllis, fueled by months of unresolved anger and loneliness, fires back with venomous sarcasm, mocking Lily's jealousy and telling her to stop acting like she has any claim left on Kane. The confrontation ignites like wildfire, escalating into accusations about loyalty, motherhood, lies, and manipulation. Lily storms out shaking, realizing that no matter how much she tries to move forward, she cannot escape the pull of her past with Kane. Phyllis, though outwardly victorious, feels the sting of Lily's words burrowing beneath her skin, forcing her to face the truth that she may be sabotaging herself again. Meanwhile, Claire Grace Newman confronts the increasingly unhinged Audra Charles after Audra pushes her buttons for the final time. Claire snaps, unleashing a torrent of pent-up rage, warning Audra that she will not allow her to interfere with Nate, Victoria, or the Newman family again. Audra, trembling but defiant, smirks and warns Claire that Holden has already told her more about their shared past than Claire realizes. Claire's fury erupts, and she shoves Audra back, forcing Nate to intervene and pull them apart. Audra retreats, humiliated and furious, her fear morphing into villainous resolve. Holden warns her that pushing Claire again could expose them both, but Audra's desperation has reached a dangerous threshold. Simultaneously, Jack Abbott discovers that Viktor is setting another trap, this time for Kane, and informs Kyle that they need to strike preemptively to protect Chabot. Kyle hesitates, torn between loyalty to his father and his growing fascination with Viktor's ruthlessness. Diane, still suspicious of Jack's secret with Nikki, decides to dig deeper into Viktor's past, where she and Kyle find something that links Viktor's early business dealings to Matt Clark's obsession, a connection neither Jack nor Nikki knows exists. And as tensions peak across cities and families, Nikki collapses in the Newman living room, overwhelmed by guilt over the secret she shared only with Jack. Viktor calls her from Los Angeles, his voice low, dangerous, trembling with rage and fear. He tells her they may lose Noah if he cannot break Matt's final trap. Nikki sobs silently, knowing she must reveal the truth she has buried, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Because if Noah dies before she tells Viktor, the guilt will destroy her forever. Everything spirals at once, Viktor fighting through the warehouse, Matt triggering the final stage of his plan, Sharon screaming Noah's name, Nick slamming his fists against sealed doors, Sienna sobbing as Noah tries to shield her, Lily collapsing onto her sofa in tears, Audra plotting her next move, Claire pacing in panic, Diane uncovering the wrong secret at the wrong time, and Nikki trembling as she prepares to confess something that will change Viktor's world more violently than Matt Clark ever could. But the nightmare is only beginning as the walls close in on every major player involved. In Los Angeles, Noah Newman feels the sting of defeat clawing at his chest as the hidden speaker crackles again with Matt Clark's venomous voice. Matt taunts him, reminding Noah that every failed attempt to break free only proves how helpless he truly is. Sienna trembles as she listens, knowing Matt's threats are never idle ones. Noah pulls her close, whispering that he will protect her no matter what, but Sienna's eyes fill with tears because she knows the truth. If Matt forces Noah into the impossible choice he promised, she may be the one who pays the price. The stench of fear mixes with the damp, cold air of the storage room, and Noah can hardly breathe. The metal rod they discovered earlier is now bent and useless, the hinge still stubbornly attached. Noah curses under his breath, punching the door until his knuckles bleed. Sienna gently cups his face, urging him not to give up, her quiet strength the only thing keeping him grounded. But the growing sound of footsteps in the hallway tells them Matt is coming, and time has officially run out. Inside the warehouse, Viktor Newman's eyes narrow in the dark as he listens for Matt's movements. Matt's laughter echoes like a sick lullaby, bouncing off concrete walls, mocking Viktor's determination to save Noah. Viktor has faced assassins, boardroom betrayals, kidnappings, and corporate warfare, but something about this, about Matt, about the trap, about the fact that his grandson is suffering alone, unleashes a feral rage inside him. He slams a metal pipe against a locked door, roaring Noah's name. Sharon and Nick, finally managing to pry open the barricade with a discarded crowbar, race to Viktor's side. Viktor refuses to admit he doesn't know where Noah is. Instead, he points to a rusted ventilation panel, commanding Nick to rip it open. Sharon climbs through without hesitation, tears streaming down her face.